Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 9 says, but we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he by the grace of God should taste death for every man. For it became him for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons into glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one. For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren, saying, I will declare thy name unto my brethren. In the midst of the church will I sing praise unto thee. And again I will put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children which God hath given me. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. Wherefore in all things it behoved him to be like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. For in that he himself had suffered being tempted, he is able to succor them that are tempted. Can somebody say amen? I want you to look at somebody beside you and just tell them fear is just a shadow. Amen. Look at somebody else and ask, what are you afraid of? Amen. Why are you afraid? It is interesting, the concept, and again, the whole issue of the Hebrew church and the writings to the Hebrews was significant because they were in a state of apostasy. They were backsliding. And the challenge that they faced was they walked away from Judaism and from their family's religion and their nation's religion, and they embraced Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And consequently, they were bombarded on all sides, and they were castigated and completely ostracized because they followed the carpenter's son from Nazareth. There are certain passages here that help you to understand why the writer is endeavoring to encourage them and to touch them, because he feels that he needs to do great encouraging things in order to get them to hold on to Jesus Christ. So the very theme of the book is that Christ is superior. It's important to understand that what you have, there is no better. So no matter what the struggle is, his intimation is that you hold on to what it is God has already given. We understand it, to put it in a more contemporary way, we understand it because oftentimes we believe God for certain things and we speak what we believe, and we speak it out, and others pick up on our vision. And oftentimes we are ostracized, even from our families, even from our friends. How in the world you think you could ever achieve all of that? And Lord, help us if you have a legacy of family that never did achieve too much. They will tell you, why do you think you're any better than the rest of us? Oh yes, oh yes. There was a reason Joseph's brothers hated him. I need to talk to you about that sometime. There's a reason he was hated, and when you have vision and when people can't see you doing that, you can see who did it do it, why can't you see me doing that? And so often we want the Lord to move quickly. We want the Lord to operate real fast so that we can say to the soothsayers and the haters, I told you what God was going to do. It's really incidental, but it's very funny. I was in Cleveland preaching, and on the Tuesday night, the sixth game of Miami against San Antonio, and I had picked up a hat. I had been, when I went on a little vacation, went a little spear fishing on my way back from the islands. I had to go through Miami, and I picked up a heat hat and had the unmitigated gall and audacity to walk into Cleveland, Ohio, with a heat hat. And the game got real hot. And, the sixth game, San Antonio gave it away, and it got real hot. Don't celebrate before anyhow. And the preacher just told me, one of my best friends' words, he said, now, I just don't like LeBron. And everybody in the room, boy, it was getting steamy until I sort of eased the heat hat off. Amen. But I wanted them to hurry up and win. But I didn't want to, brag about it. I just, they won, well, thank you, Jesus, and just got up out of there. You see, sometimes you want your vision to come to pass, because oftentimes, even right around you, there are folk rooting against you. And if you're not able to carry that, you have to be able to carry that and not dwell on it. Sometimes you have to carry things that you don't dwell on. You hear them, but you don't let them sink into your system. Amen. Because if you're going to get anywhere, it's not going to be easy. I feel like preaching just a little bit. And so when people are constantly in battle, whenever you're constantly having to fight, when you have to fight on the job, and you have to fight in the home, where nobody really wants to understand the significance of who you are and the capacity that you have. And so often you just have to fight in the home, and you have to fight on the job. You have to fight in your vocation, in your giftedness. You have to fight in your dreams and your visions. It seems like you are always in a battle, and somebody's always trying to displace you, and sometimes people are trying to get over you and walk through you and ignore you, and just being embattled sometimes causes you to wonder, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Just the battle alone causes you to feel as if something is wrong with you. And then it induces and it brings on the whole issue of fear. And the truth is that you will have some fear. Oh yes, let me come around and talk for a minute, and then I'll come back around here and go to work. But you see, the truth is that all of us have to deal with the shadow that comes with our lives, all of us, and you just can't escape it. I'm finding out now. I thought at my age now some things would be history, but I'm finding whenever you are still moving, and whenever you still have vision, and whenever you still have energy and foresight, whenever God is using you continually and has higher planes for you to go on, you will always be in a battle. Oh, I feel it. If you're not battling, you're generally going backward. I mean, ain't nobody fighting you going down. It's people are fighting you when you're rising up. And God help you. So the critical piece then is you have to embrace it. You have to understand that this is what the battlefield is all about. And even though I have some trepidation, I am not going to allow myself to be intimidated to the point where I no longer move in direction of my vision. It gets even more difficult when you have people around you who want to control you, and the mere fact that you have in you a design for a particular destiny. And sometimes our destinies cross, but it doesn't mean that we're going in the same direction. And you've got to learn how not to stay too long at the crossroads of somebody else's control when you have a destiny to fulfill. Part of the lack of our fulfillment and the lack of comfort we have with ourselves is that we've tarried too long at the crossroads of destiny, and we have allowed others to control us for too long. And then it's left us with a sense of inadequacy because we did not achieve what God has ordained for us early enough for us to feel satisfied about our lives. And I'm telling you, you can't sneak your life up into somebody else's. You have got to operate yours in spite of what's going on around you. Let me go to work here. It's critical. It's critical. I got some notes I got to follow. And so what I discovered is that fear eliminates God's involvement. What it does is it takes him out of the involvement of our lives, because the whole concept of fear is based on unbelief. I want to go on, and I thought about it, and I didn't do it this morning, but I want you to understand that God has left himself outside of our senses, our sensual perception. And he's connected himself to our spirits by faith. So my faith connects to his spirit, and his spirit connects to my spirit through faith. And then when both spirits testify, because his spirit has to testify with my spirit who I am, and my spirit then must talk to my mind.